Okay, yesterday I came up with this idea. What if I took my shoe and I made it float for a photo? So I still have this set made from my last video, so I plan on using it to float my sneakers. But since I wear these, I definitely need to clean them off before I take photos. I also still don't know how I want to float them. I was thinking I could just toss them up in the air and put my camera on burst to take a bunch of pictures, or I can hang them using fishing line and then edit out the fishing line later. So I'll still have to figure that out. Okay, so we are back. I did my best to try and clean these up. Obviously, they're not the best, so I'll have to do some retouching later in Photoshop to make them look perfect, but that's good enough. I'm gonna get my camera up on a tripod and we're gonna try throwing these up and doing some burst photos. This looks near perfect, but what I don't like is how we have these lines back here from this poster paper. So what I think I'm gonna do is slide everything over. That way it's just clean white wall, and then I'll try it one more time. Alright, now we're even more in the corner, but we can get a clean white background with this photo. Welcome back to the computer. I'm ready to start editing these photos. I've got them all loaded up here in Lightroom, so I can go through, pick out my favorite, and then I'll show you how I edit them. So here at the end, I remember this one was my favorite when I took it. It's almost touching the ground, but it's not quite. It's pretty sharp. And I think there's a lot we could do to work with this to make it a really amazing photo. So the first thing I want to do is crop this. So you can see that the line in the back is not straight. You have this camera off to the side, and then you have like a bit of the poster board on the side. So I want to straighten this out with the horizon, like that. And I definitely want to crop in on it, and I'll even make it portrait photo, like that. Next, I'll start by lifting the exposure so you can see more details of the shoe. And then I'll start messing around with the highlights and the shadows. I also notice that the background seems not quite white. It's a little bit yellow, so I can click this white balance selector and click on the background. Boom. Make it nice and white. I can also see a little bit of noise in this photo. This was at ISO 8000, so I'm just going to turn up that noise reduction. And then I'm also going to click the mask under the sharpening panel and then sharpen it up a little bit. That definitely looks a little bit better. So a quick before and after, that definitely helps it, but I still want to do more with the photo. So you can see that the sole of the shoe doesn't look very good, looks pretty messy. So I can come in here with the brush tool and paint over this. And then I can turn down saturation to get rid of that nasty color. And then I can just go through and paint all along the sole of the shoe. There you have it. Here's a quick before and after. So I'm going to try a different photo now where it's higher up in the air. This one looks pretty nice. So this time I'm going to try out one of my presets on here. I kind of like this look. I need to clean it up a lot though. In the split toning, I'm going to tone down the highlights a lot. And this really needs to be cleaned up here. Again, I'm going to crop it, straighten it out, and then I want to center it. See, I'm not too worried about this stuff hanging from the edge because I can go in Photoshop and remove it pretty easily. That's not looking too bad. I'm going to try clean up the sole again. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna mess with gradient filters. So this photo doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it. It's very white, black and white. So I'm gonna try putting a gradient filter over it and then giving it an orange look on one side, and then put another gradient filter in and give it a blue look on the other side. And then I just want to come back and clean up my mask around the sole, just so you don't see this weird haze right here. Easy enough. Zoom back out. That was looking pretty good. I'm gonna go back, just mess with the noise reduction and the sharpening, get rid of some of the grain in the shoe. So here's a quick before and after, what we have so far. I definitely think that adds to the photo, but here you can see the tongue of the shoe is looking orange and a bit dark. So I want to come back with this brush. I want to try bringing up the whites on it. Really gonna paint over it and see if I can adjust it just by bringing up the whites and bring down the saturation. There you have it. The tongue looks a lot nicer on that shoe. And then I kind of want to go back and do the same thing to the check mark, the swoosh on the side. And there, I think that's a nice photo. Now I'm going to bring this into Photoshop, and then I will remove this blue tape mark and this little piece of paper towel off the desk. So I'll do that right now. You right click on the photo at the bottom, edit in Photoshop, and then you wait for it to load. Okay, I've got the photo loaded here in Photoshop. So I just want to remove this blue piece up here. That's easy enough. I can right click, duplicate the layer, hit OK. Now I have a copy in case I mess up and I need the original. So I can take my lasso tool up here. I can just drag around this part that I want removed. I hit Shift F5. This brings up the fill menu. Now I can hit this drop down menu and click Content Aware. And then you hit OK. Boom. That piece is gone. It's that easy. Makes the photo look much better, a lot cleaner. You come down here, see this, click around here, Shift F5. That's gone as well. Now your photo is nice and cleaned up. I could go through and try and clean up areas around the shoe, but I think this is good for now. I think this is a good place to leave this edit. Links for music and other stuff will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching and making it to the end. I'll see you on the next video.